Hello, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Isaac Rhythm Arredondo, and tonight I am joined by a very special guest. It is our Assistant Director of Esports, Mr. James Reach42 Davis.
Hello, hello. Happy to be here. For a chance to cast with the great Isaac
Oh,
Arredondo.
thank you.
Looking forward to some great League of Legends tonight. This is going to be a pretty fun matchup, I think.
Yes, today is week 4, day 2 of ESC League of Legends, where the 3-3 Miami University Redhawks, are taking on the 4-1 Eastern Michigan University Eagles. This is one of my favorite matchups of the year, as this is what I am dubbing now a rivalry. It is the Battle of the Swoops. Both of our mascots are named Swoops, and last year we won my first rivalry game, and we swept the series 2-0. However, they are coming back with some vengeance, and they look to have a pretty strong team tonight.
Yeah. The other commonality, which I just thought about, is that our other director, Zach, shares a name with Eastern Michigan's director. So it's also the Battle of the Zacks.
Whoa!
I know, crazy.
Our Zach clears.
Yeah,
I might be biased, but our Zach clears.
But no, I think this is going to be a pretty tough matchup. The Eastern Michigan squad is pretty strong. They've got 4 Master Tier players and a Diamond player. Our team is currently sitting a little bit lower in rank. However, I know that they have the capability of getting to those higher ranks. It's just a matter of the amount of time that they're able to dedicate to the game, I think, has really been one of the limiting factors this spring as we've gone into the new season. Because, here, everybody's students first, esports athletes second. And that's, we take academics very seriously here. And so, hopefully they can, prove me wrong on the Rift and actually, have the sort of performance that I know that our Redhawks are capable of.
Yeah. Well, the Redhawks have been been on a stinker a little bit these last couple of weeks. I think they're 0-2 in the last 2 matches, 1-2 over the last week. But James, I got to ask you, what do the Redhawks need to do tonight in order to pull out a victory against this good-looking Eagles team?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Miami needs to solidify its drafting plan a little bit. I definitely want to see some more standard picks out of our in our champ pool, in our comfort area, in all 5 roles. I definitely want to see more communication within the team. A lot of our team fighting has been a little disoriented. Our target selection has been a little bit muddy. And I'd also really like to see more lane presence from the jungler. And sort of the early to mid game, that lane freezes have been a giant problem in these last matchups against the incredibly strong Buffalo and Ball State teams.
Yeah, so I was also looking through some of the champions that our opponents are playing tonight, specifically towards that bot lane. Zero, the Eagles' AD carry, shares a lot of champions that Solozak plays as well. The Varus, things like Yunara, things like Kaisa. Do we want to maybe priority pick the bot lane, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think generally in any draft, you want to try to either start with your AD carry, where there's not really a lot of hard counters in that role. It's just you want to set out early how you want to scale into the game. And so I mean, the last couple of weeks before our little run of bad losses, we've had a lot of success on the red side with the counter pick. But then I don't know, it seems like blue side has been winning these last 2 matches. So I don't know. I think jungler early, if we can prioritize something that's got a go button, something like a J4, something like a Sejuani that we can flex a little bit, that would be really, really nice. I definitely want to see, have we mentioned the Skarner yet?
I do not think we've mentioned the Skarner. That is getting banned. Yeah, that needs to be banned by the Redhawks tonight. Drywall Boxer, the jungle over at Eastern Michigan, has, 62 Skarner games so far this season? I don't want to see that tonight.
Yeah, no, me neither. I mean, it would be exciting to see the character. It is fearless, so we'd only be seeing him once throughout the night. And Skarner is a bit of a niche pick. He does some really, really fun things, going through walls, grabbing everybody on the team, pulling them around. But I would expect to see some other traditional tanky junglers out of that Eastern Michigan if that Skarner remains banned throughout. And I think hopefully it will be. I went and talked to the team right before and was like, can we just please ban Skarner? So yeah, no, I definitely want to see that. I want to see if we can try to get counter pick, definitely top lane, and definitely on the support if possible. I think mid lane we have a fairly safe champion pool between the Galio, the Orianna, a couple of other things that
the Rise.
Yeah, the Rise. You can play it basically into anything. You might run into some trouble with AD matchups if you play the Galio like blind, but I don't think there's any like really hard losing matchups for Galio. You can just kind of clear with your passive and your Q. But yeah, I'd really want to see them try to prioritize giving counterpick to the top and support.
Yeah, well, I completely agree. And the Eagles tonight are bringing in the top lane Inferno. Drywall Boxer is the jungle. You may remember Drywall Boxer, a favorite of Devin and myself. He's moved from the support role to the jungle this season. You have Lance Romance mid, same as last year. Zero as their AD carry, who was their top laner last year, but I believe he was a true AD carry player, just was, put in top lane duty last year. And Shambo as their support, a new player.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the beautiful things about collegiate is that you just sort of have to make do with who you've got, and you try to remain as flexible as possible, and you play the best games that you can. And that Eastern Michigan squad last year was good. Definitely going to be interesting this year to see how they're looking with more of their players possibly being flexed into their main roles.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be a very tough matchup for Miami, but once again, I think it is completely winnable.
Yeah, and of course, the Redhawks are bringing the 5 that we have come to know and love. It is Ken's Egoist Nakazawa in the top lane, Younggen X Lu in the jungle, Jack WGFY Lee in the mid lane, with Christian Solazak Tarzia and Jen Beans Lu holding down the bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely been seeing some really, really good performances. I mean, I know that Christian Solazak has been getting a lot of praise for his positioning on his game, sort of before these last two.
the Lethal Tempo Varus game, yeah. I remember his spacing was disgusting.
And there was that one Kog'Maw game that he played where he got dove.
Like the tower dive and got the double kill. Yeah.
Just left on his own, was able to have some fancy feet work, got through it. Hoping to see more great highlight plays like that tonight. And yeah, it's yeah.
But we're excited for tonight's matchup. But of course, as is tradition, even though Devin's not here, we're gonna kick it on over to our Laldal, as is tradition. And I am still giving my challenge out to Ball State. If Ball State wants to challenge us to see if they can do better in the Laldal, I invite them to do so. I know Prod was asking to begin Neela today, and with Devin not being here and fighting for the Ash, we're gonna go with Neela.
Okay, let's see what we got.
We are going to lock in that Neela. This one is for you, Trae.
Okay, so
wow,
it's mana melee, literally anywhere.
Male. I think male top melee is my guess.
Tryndamere or
mana. So what?
Oh yeah, not Tryndamere, not Shen.
Maybe a Darius angle.
Yeah, let's try
Darius. Oh, it's not human. It's not human. It's not human. It's not Darius. It's not Darius.
Well, it's not magically altered human. Well,
no, it would be yellow. It would be yellow.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, low-key, I do like the Poppy pick.
I don't like the Poppy.
Wait, no, it's not female. It's not female. Yeah,
Poppy's
wait,
female.
You're so right.
Yeah. Could we get a Camille?
It's not. Does Rumble use mana?
Oh,
I don't.
Yeah.
Does Rumble
oh my
use
god,
mana?
You're right. You're right.
What if it's?
Rumble does not use. He's got the heat, man.
Yes, he has the heat. It's not Shen. It's not Set.
Yeah.
It's Rumble believer right here. I believe in Rumble too, but I don't think it's Rumble tonight.
I don't think so. I think it could it be a Galio?
It could be a Galio. I actually do like that Galio pick.
Could we
we'll
try
go Galio
Yeah,
here.
could we try a Galio? No, okay.
Not a mid laner.
Okay, and
later than 2010.
Later than 2010,
and not
Demacia.
Demacia.
No.
Maybe when did Nocturne come out?
Nocturne is pretty early, but maybe later than 2010.
It's not when Yi is like 2000. I want to see if it's a jungle.
Yi was like release, so I don't think it's Yi. I think Nocturne or Hecarim could be interesting.
Let's go Hecarim.
Sure, let's do a Hecarim.
Hecarim was the first champion. Fun fact for all our viewers at home: Hecarim was the first champion that I opened up from a Hextech chest.
Incredible.
Yeah, and then I mained Hecarim for a while.
So a 2011 character.
That is jungle and something else.
Wukong. Wukong was pretty early. Was not a release character. Angle. Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah.
Yeah, we could go Wukong here.
I would try the Wukong. Because they're making it easy. Yeah, well,
they're just giving us hints. Oh my god, only jungle? 2011 though.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so it's not Demacia, not Ionia, not Shadow Isles, not Bilgewater.
We have Ionia, Demacia, Bilgewater, Shadow Isle. So we have
Freljord,
Noxus, Targon, but it probably wouldn't be Targon because there's only like 5 champions.
Yeah.
Bandle City, it could be a Yordle.
Darius could be it, but
actually could be Darius.
Because I mean,
you can jungle Darius. We'll go Darius actually. Yeah. We might have thrown it. We could have gotten second try. Oh yeah, it's not human. It's not human. It's not human.
Okay.
Non-human makes me stay away from like Noxus.
Yeah, because they mostly got humans over there.
Nasus.
Oh, he is that dog. The only thing I can't remember about Nasus is if he is release.
Only top?
Not a God Warrior.
Not Shurima either. Oh, he's 2009.
Yeah. I think Nasus and Renekton, I believe, were both release characters.
Renekton would also be Shurima, so it can't be Renekton.
And he doesn't have mana. He's got the Rage Bar.
This is some champion that we never see ever.
Yeah.
It is a top jungle, though.
Yeah.
Yorick is Shadow Isles.
I mean,
I'm drawing blanks here.
Nocturne could still possibly be a thing.
Do you play?
You don't really play Nocturne top though.
2011. 2011. Yeah, we can go alphabet time. We can go alphabet time, Prod. I'm cool with that.
Okay.
It's not Aatrox, I don't think.
Yeah.
2011 is the stumper.
Right.
I wasn't playing the game back then.
I was loosely aware of the game. I think I started playing when Zyro was released. No.
I remember Kled
was a little later.
Kled or Talia being one of the first champions that I remember on those screens. Cho'Gath could be an angle here, actually.
Yeah. I'm not mad about the Cho'Gath.
I'm not mad about Cho'Gath either. Hit me with a prod.
Cho is too old. Is Cho 09?
I don't. Is Cho 09? I mean, it gets Void out of the way. Oh my gosh. It's not Void. The land slumbers, but it is not dead. With my roar, I wake it. With my thunder, I call it Volibear.
Only other one I can think of would be
it's gotta be.
It's gotta be Volley.
It's gotta be Volley.
Oh,
that's crazy.
I think because of the rework, and it was Freljord. We did call out Freljord. Oh, there are two of us.
Seeing double.
Incredible.
What a treat for all the viewers at home. I know that they want to see more of us. I'm not sure. Did Prod queue up any more games? Maybe. But we did the Luldo.
Yep.
Gosh, I've been on a real stinker lately with Devin and I too.
It's
been tough out here.
Yeah.
Oh, we're into draft. Oh my, whoa.
Insta-picks. Okay.
Things are going crazy. It seems that Miami did get hold of. Ooh. I'm not sure. Are we in we might be in like a blind pick setting here.
Yeah, it looks like maybe we did our web draft and then just did everything in blind pick.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the Ezreal Sona, which is a really classic combination, which you don't see a lot of these days. Going to be interesting to see how that scales into the Yunara Nautilus. I feel like Sona is squishy enough that if she gets picked off by that Nautilus early enough, that could just swing the game. However, if the Sona can scale, infinite shielding could get that Wukong and Gwen basically, a free ticket to win the game. The Gwen is also a very interesting pickup there. We actually haven't seen Gwen win yet for Miami, I don't think.
Nope.
We've only gotten to pick it once because it's been banned out all of the time. But I guess, how do you feel about the Gwen-Kennen matchup, I'm assuming?
It's Gwen. Yeah, wait. Gwen, Kennen top, Pantheon jungle, probably Talia. Yeah, okay. I'm not a top lane aficionado. Adam Karma Edwards is our resident Gwen player.
True.
But ranged going into a melee usually has an inherent advantage for that ranged champion. But I'm sure that once Gwen hits 6 and is able to get on top of that Kennen, it becomes a lot more favorable for that Gwen. So I think until then, Gwen might struggle a little bit. I do have our web draft here. I do see the bans.
See the order.
So it was Skarner, Nunu, Galio in phase 1 for Miami. with Varus, Leona, and Mbessa as the bans for Eagles. So respect bans to 3 of our players. And then in phase 2, it was Kale and Seraphine from the Redhawks and Kaisa and Jinx from the Eagles. So Solozak getting 3 bans today.
Yeah, he's making an impression on the entire league, as he's got a lot of target bans out here on him. I'm a little bit concerned about how that early game is going to go with the Ezreal Senna. However, if it's allowed to scale into the mid game, if he can start completing that tier item, start getting that Trinity Force or Essence Reaver, I actually don't know which one of those currently the meta build for it. Probably still the Trinity Force.
I think it is still Trinity, yeah.
Yeah. Once he gets those 2 items up and running, he should be in a good position to poke and, keep his range from everything. But I do believe that Eastern Michigan has a couple of easier go buttons with the Talia Global Ultimate, with the Pantheon Global Ultimate, with Kennen just existing, and Nautilus with the point and click R. I mean, Nautilus is so good. I mean, I think he doesn't have the kill power that I think he quite did a couple of seasons ago, but he's still beefy, and he's still very, very scary in that, especially in the early game, but still remains relevant throughout the entire game, unlike something like Blitzcrank, where level 2 is about where Blitzcrank's power spike is, and then he falls off for the rest of the game. But very interested to see how this one goes as we are loading into map 1 of this best of 3, Miami University against Eastern Michigan.
Minions have spawned.
We've got an early stack in the bushes bot. Miami opting to use a ward very, very early to catch out this Nautilus, who's going to be very aggressive, try to push that level 1 advantage. We've also got a bit of an invade there. Kennen playing near our blue buff on the top side. Gwen going to just dash by it. Not going to see it. Solid Snake on a sneaking mission up there gets pinged out a little bit, but it looks like, other than getting early vision down on our blue buff to figure out what the jungle timing is, not a lot going to happen there. Now, the Wukong is positioning to clear bot to top, so trying to play strong side top, leave this bottom lane here to clear from range and just scale up into the game.
Yeah, taking a look at some runes here, Kennen did opt for the Electrocute instead of something like the Airy or Comet like we sometimes see. So going to be more of a bursty Kennen, and we did see that ward from Beans and Solozak in that first bush got a lot of value for them, already chunking Shambo to about half, but he misses the dredge line, just barely. Beans dodging that very important ability right there.
Yeah, and it looks like we've got some early poke going on in mid too. Both Talia and Orianna sitting on very low health bars as Ezreal ease right into the Nautilus, eats the ignite, but gets first blood. We still got a fight happening here as the Yunara is trying to get more value onto Beans and Solozak, but they are able to kite back, and Miami gets first blood.
Yeah, Solozak and Beans hitting that level 2 before Zero and Shambo. Solozak just making the hero play and blinking in right in front of that Nautilus, no fear. But here we see Drywall Boxer and Lance Romance finding WGFY. WGFY still has flash up and goes over the wall after the stun from the Pantheon comes in. WGFY escaping that one. On the top side, we do see that Egoist has been shoved in by that Kennen, just because Egoist can't really step up to that wave right now without that poke. But WGFY escaping, not allowing Drywall Boxer and Lance Romance to get that kill.
Yeah, really good work from the Ori, using that flash to get out of that scary situation. I was a little bit worried that he'd held onto that flash a little bit too long, that getting flash W'd on by Pantheon at level 3, that's almost normally always a death sentence. In this case, he's able to get out, is able to get both of the yellow wards committed there on his position, so that's going to be a little less early vision there for the side of Eastern Michigan, except it's gonna spot out the Orianna right now, where there's an early Nautilus level 2 gank happening here as he's trying to clear off some of this vision. Gonna get Hex Flash over the wall, gonna get dredge lined maybe into that rock field, but not quite. We've got Wukong here on the way to try to save Orianna's life, but will it be enough? Mr. President goes down.
Yeah, Shambo with a very early wander. I'm blinking on the term of roam. That's the word that we use here in this game of League of Legends. Shambo with a very early roam on the Nautilus. Did have that Hex Flash, and they did have vision control of that area, so WGFY had no idea that Nautilus was coming up. And Nautilus now clearing the Scryer's Bloom. So Zach and Beans will now know where Shambo is. But things are pretty... It's a pretty good start overall right now. Pretty even start.
Yeah. I mean, definitely don't want to see us going down mid like we are, but Orianna as long as Oriana is able to get consistent resources just naturally off of the map, she's going to be useful no matter what. She doesn't need to get super, super far ahead. She just needs to not get too far behind. But once you can have Wukong sitting there as that ball carrier, Gwen there as that ball carrier, like, the character's going to be fine, I think. It's just dying that early, going down 300 gold doesn't feel great. And also we've got that natural 300 gold advantage there for Kennen just because he's been able to farm up. He's starting to try to get a freeze going. However, that wave is going to push towards Kins. So as long as the Eastern Michigan jungler doesn't come up and break that freeze, Kins could be in a position to break it, but we've got a fight here in mid.
Here comes Drywall Boxer, the unraveled earth with the seismic shove frame. Lance Romance will shove WGFY into the palms of Drywall Boxer. It's another kill for the Eagles as we do see X wandering down here to the bot lane. The Eagles do have a ward in that pixel brush, so they'll spot this out. Shambo just emoting, knowing what he sees. So I'm not sure if they'll be able to make anything happen down here. Meanwhile, Egoist and Inferno. Inferno hits 6 first, does have that ultimate if he wants to dive in. Egoist still a minion or two off of it, but Inferno having a nice health advantage at the time being.
Yeah, you definitely want to try to stay alive here if you can, if you're Kins, because that is a gigantic wave there to lose out. Luckily, he does have the teleport, opting to go for basically the double teleport setup because of the way the top lane quest works nowadays. Now he's trying to engage a little bit, gets ulted onto, but he's got the increased resistance from the W, almost gets the kill on the Kennen, but he's able to flash out. Doesn't quite take enough damage from the tower there. So Kins is locked out for the next 5 seconds, and we're going to probably see an instant TP back up. X is sitting down here looking for a lane gank. They're just going to need to clear some of these minions out to prevent some of these minions from seeing what's going on. However, I'm a little bit worried that melee... No, we've got the Nautilus going in. Shambo hitting the dredge line onto Beans is going to go in, but they're able to disengage in time. The Pantheon coming in here for the counter gank, but also Wu on the Oriana coming in as well. We've got a big ult there. Clone coming in, hitting the Q, getting the damage on the Pantheon. Not quite able to finish him off, though, and that's an advantage there for Eastern Michigan, 1-0.
Yeah, things just seem to be falling apart for the Redhawks right now. I think they're a little bit disjointed on that fight, too. I mean, Shambo did find a nice dredge line onto X there after he got in a little too deep, but WGFY, Lancerman's hiding in the bush. The seismic shove with the unraveled earth, gonna get stunned up. WGFY steals the scuttle, and Drywall Boxer is so mad right now. Drywall Boxer looking for the kill alongside Lancerman. WGFY doing what he can. Doesn't have a lot of mana, but there's the flash and the stun from Drywall Boxer. It's another kill for Lance Romance. 3-0, but X is back up on the map. We do see Shambo and Zero finding something onto Solozak. Solozak and being forced to back up. Solozak almost taking Shambo down. The Aerie doesn't kill Shambo just yet, but X in the picture-in-picture is going to be taken down by Drywall Boxer and Lance Romance. He got a little in over his head as we do see Zero pick up a kill onto Solozak too. It is all falling apart for the Redhawks.
Yeah, a string of bad luck there for Miami, losing out on very, very narrow trades in the bot lane and in our jungle. Both of those characters did look dead on my screen. However, unfortunately, the Wukong was not quite level 6, didn't have that ultimate ability available to him, was not able to get those 2 low characters down for the side of Eastern Michigan, and disaster struck in the bot lane as well as the Miami bot lane, low on resources, low on mana, ate a dredge line, died. That happens.
That's what happens when you're laning against the Nautilus. I do want to go back to that dive from Inferno onto Egoist. Inferno crucially dropped the Ignite and the Ultimate at the same time, which cuts a lot of Gwen's ability to heal up off of her Q and her auto attacks. So just great knowledge of the game from Inferno there. And then, of course, the flash to escape everything else. I think if Egoist was able to hit those last couple bits of his R on the back end, he maybe would have picked up the kill. But I mean, Inferno just playing that so well.
Yeah, and I mean, I think in collegiate League of Legends especially, a lot of the game is figuring out who can make the least mistakes at crucial moments. There have been a lot of really, really unlucky breaks here for Miami so far as damage breakpoints just not quite hitting when they need them to hit. There is still a chance that this Sona Ezreal can scale their way into a good position, but the Oriana getting dove onto again by the Pantheon, using that W to that E to negate a lot of the damage, eats the Ezreal ult, has to flash away, but we've also got a Nautilus coming in here on the flank into a really low Oriana. We're going to have to see if somebody's going to body block for him. The Wukong does eat it, but the dredge line comes in. The ultimate ability there onto the Oriana as Solozak meanders his way into the fight, but unfortunately not going to be able to get a lot done here as Eastern Michigan takes down 3 players on the side of Miami.
Yeah, while that was going on in the mid lane, Inferno got another kill onto Egoist in the top lane, but 2 of those kills going over to the Nautilus, not really the target that you want if you're Eastern Michigan. A little bit of copium from us here, Red Hawk fans, but Solozak did use the True Shot Barrage in the mid lane, does not have it to possibly steal this dragon away. So that is going to go over to the Eagles as Lance Romance is pushing in that mid lane, trying to take first tower as well.
Yeah, Drywall Boxer is really getting away with highway robbery in this one. It speaks to the strength of Pantheon as a character, using that shield wall to negate so much of Miami's damage. It's just frustrating to play against. And I think Miami's got to slow things down a little bit. We need to make sure that we're not getting... We're pulling back from these all-ins, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, as you're saying earlier, though, like, Miami hasn't been playing poorly this game. I think things have just gone really unlucky. We've seen Silazak miss out on a couple of kills just by a little bit. Egoist missing out on one just by the slightest bit of damage as well. But, I mean, 1-11 in kills. The Eagles do have a 5.2k gold lead at this point in the game. So it's not looking the greatest for the Red Hawks, but there's still the capability of a comeback, I believe.
Yeah, and I mean, being down 50 CS there in that top lane matchup is very, very tough. Being down 2k gold, basically an entire item up, and it looks as if we've got some motion happening up here in the top lane. Talia going in with the ult, Pantheon going in with the ult. We've got Gwen trying to immune as much of this as she can, but unfortunately, just not quite enough, although that tower was really, really heated up as Lance Romance almost going down. Wukong using the ultimate on Drywall Boxer in conjunction with the Orianna, trying to get some damage on this Pantheon. Oh, the True Shot Barrage goes across the Pantheon, takes him down, but unfortunately is not able to take the Talia as well. And now the bot lane is getting all-in as well. But they're just going to take their damage trade. Solozak a little bit too low to get anything going in lane here now. But it does look as if Miami was able to trade out for grubs across the map. So at least they picked up some sort of advantage from all of this. League of Legends is a game of trading things around the map where possible. You know, you lose kills on one side of the map, but if you can pick up objectives on the other side, everything's great. That's another all-in here. Nautilus using the ultimate. Being stuck in no man's land, gonna have to try to flash across this wall, possibly, but the flash is down, so she's just gone for a sacrifice play there.
Yeah, Shambo using the Dredge line onto a minion, but has the depth charge founded onto Solozak. I mean, how can you miss a point-and-click ability?
Yeah.
But Bean's just kind of sacrificing herself to keep Solozak alive. I want to revisit that fight in the top lane. I mean, Inferno and Lance Romance got really low. Unfortunately, X and WGFY weren't in the position to catch up with them, so they were able to get out. Instead, had to turn their sights onto the Volheld, the jungler of Drywall Boxer. And that kill was able to go over to Solozak, which is kind of where you want the kills to go. You want to feed this AD carry. And the Redhawks were able to get the grubs on the back end of that. But, I mean, these towers are looking really low. I mean, you only have 1 plate left in the top lane, 2 plates left in the mid lane, and you do see that Eagles just have so much vision control and they just have map dominance over the Redhawks at this stage in the game.
Yeah, no, Beans can't be going out without an escort right now, as it looks like we've got a dive possibly coming in here on the bot lane. Talia looking to queue up that, just that field into the pick. And there's not a lot that Solozak can do here, but he's trying. He's got those fancy feet. He's working under tower, but the Ignite is going to do it in the end. Shambo still too high of health for that warmed up tower to do too much to him. Bean's not there to apply the shields, and that's just another kill going the way of Eastern Michigan.
I mean, what can you do? You're one man getting taking fire from 4 other members on the map. It's just a tough situation to be in. You do have the tower, but you don't have much other backup. Lance Romance and Drywall Boxer taking control of this red side jungle, or the blue side jungle, excuse me, of X. WGFY just forced to clear some vision, and Solozak just can't, like, he can't do anything. He teleported back to the tower, but there's just the threat of another dive here. Drywall Boxer and Zero and Shambo here. Shambo does have the death charge, and there we see the Weaver's Wall coming in as well. There's just nowhere for Solozak to go. And why? There's another teleport coming in.
Oh no!
Kin's coming in. Ego is trying to save him. Kin's trying to pick up a kill onto Shambo, but Shambo gets out of the way. Double kill for Lance Romance. I'm going to say it, bad teleport usage from 2 members of the Redhawks here.
Yeah, I mean, if Kins was caught up in CS, if he was also sitting on that 132 CS, if he had bought that full item, maybe they could have made that work. There were low enemies there on the side of Eastern Michigan. He had ultimate up. there might have been a way to trade that. However, he is just too far behind to be playing like that. And the entirety of the Miami squad is too far behind. They're too squishy, and Eastern Michigan has too many quick pick tools between the Pantheon W, between Nautilus just existing, and between Talia. The other thing Miami needs to really be watching for is how close they're standing next to these walls. And now we've got another engage happening possibly here in mid. We're going to have to see if FY is fast enough to get away from this Pantheon W, and he is so far.
Yeah, I want to revisit. Egoist teleport there allowed Inferno to just keep pushing in that wave. Got 2 plates off of that top tower. It's down to, I think, 1 or 2 left, but I think the Redhawks are playing for this dragon. Inferno gets another solo kill onto Egoist as we do see the dredge line go down onto WGFY, or excuse me, X. X getting the double hurricane onto 2 members, Drywall Boxer and Shambo, but Solozak is here. WGFY picks up the kill onto Drywall Boxer. I believe that's going to be a shutdown. Solozak trying to find a kill onto Lancerman as Shambo goes really low. WGFY picks up the kill there, but Inferno again still able to push in that top lane tower. The Redhawks get 2 kills, but they're losing places on the map. 0 on the boss side as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's good to see those shutdowns coming through. However, Miami is losing so much across the map, between the top lane, between the bot lane, and they're still down 9k gold after picking up 2,000 gold shutdowns. So as I was saying, this is a game of trading objectives, trading things around the map. Miami picked up some kills and a little bit of catch-up gold, sure, but... Oh, and another one! Let's go!
Solozak getting really aggressive here. But here comes the Pantheon. Oh no, Drywall Boxer using the Grand Starfall to get Solozak. It is a 1-for-1 here in the mid lane.
Yeah, the thing I was going to say is, like, at the end of the day, kills don't really matter. I mean, they do, but they don't. You get golden experience from it. However, at the end of the day, it's about map control, it's about pushing waves, it's about pushing down towers and getting objectives and global gold there for your team. And Miami has completely failed to do that so far this game. Some early bad luck has snowballed its way into some really, really just unfortunate, meta game positioning for them, as Egoist is about to get chased down again. Gonna have to see if Inferno needs to commit the ult there to get another kill here. He may not need to.
Yeah, Inferno's on fire here in the top lane, 4-0 with 3 solo kills, I want to say, onto Egoist. But you harped on this earlier, James, where League of Legends is a game of objectives, and the objectives are the most important part of this game. Kills are good, but they aren't the only thing in the game. You can win a game just by having map control. Kills do allow you to have a little bit more control over the map when it comes to the objectives, but the Redhawks just aren't able to get anything with the kills that they can pick up, as we do see Drywall Boxer maybe wrapping around Solozak under tower. We've seen this one before, and it usually hasn't ended well. But Beans is here to support Solozak, as Lance Romance and Drywall Boxer is here. Does have the Weaver's Wall, and there we see it. Weaver's Wall going to only section off 1 member of the Redhawks. It is X, but he's going to dive in with the Hurricane. True Shot Barrage going over top of that as a Shockwave finds 2, but there's just so much damage from Zero here. Zero gets a kill onto X as Drywall Boxer picks up 1 onto Solozak, WGFY and Beans forced to retreat, but the Seismic Shove gets WGFY. Zero allowed to auto into that Orianna, and that is 4 kills as Inferno picks up onto Egoist.
Yeah, honestly, not badly played there by Miami. I think their target priority was actually very good there. The issue is they're so far behind.
They don't have the damage.
They don't have the damage. They don't have the raw stats to meet Eastern Michigan where they're at, and they fall behind. And meanwhile, on the bot side there, Kennen gets another solo kill, I believe, on the Gwen, right?
Yeah, onto Egoist.
Yeah.
And Egoist only just getting that Duskin Dawn. 17 minutes into the game, almost 18, only having 1 item, doesn't even have completed Bootless, is almost getting Flame Horizon by Inferno over here. It is just not the game that you want if you're Egoist right now. And there is over a 1k gold lead for every single member of the Eagles on this Rift.
Yeah, so what had been a fairly good early game there for Miami has really, really fallen apart for them. We still got the possibility of a little bit of scaling here from the Sona Ezreal. We've hit that 2-item spike, but one of the big issues with Ezreal in general is that it's very hard to confirm kills. It's good. It's easy to get some upfront damage. You've got a lot of range for your poke. If you can hit a W out of vision and combo it with an E or an Q, you can do some really, really good burst. However, it's the consistent damage that isn't there. And we got another hook coming through here on the Wukong, is able to get the clone to get out. Solozak also having to kite back. That's a giant Q there. Oh, the Drudge Line comes through again as Nautilus dives in, takes some tower shots, but Zero is unstoppable, utilizes the ultimate with the W there to take Ezreal down. But I think I was trying to say Yunara just has more consistent damage that they can put over the top with the auto attacks, with some of those abilities, that it's been a tough matchup here.
Yeah, Egoist getting dove after the tower dives by two members here. We do see Lance Romance and Drywall Boxer trying to take Egoist down, but there's the Hurricane from X trying to knock up the members. Does get the double knock up onto Drywall Boxer and to Lance Romance, but Shambo is here to provide support, and Egoist will go down as well as X. And man, oh my gosh, Bear's not even up yet. We're not even 20 minutes into this game. The Eagles are trying to get this Rift Herald before it despawns, as Baron will get into here in just a little bit. True Shot Barrage coming out from Silverzak, trying to confirm that Rift Herald, but unfortunately too little, too late.
Yeah. And I'm a little bit interested to see what could possibly happen here in the bot side. It does look as if Kennen is deciding to reset. Probably going to be able to buy a full item here off of that. No, it just picks up the first part of the Zanya's Hourglass. So the next engage, he's going to have that possibility of an ult with the invulnerability, which could put Miami in a very, very tough spot. You know, they've been trying to utilize the Wukong-Orianna combination in order to shut down Eastern Michigan's engage, and it's kind of worked, except for the fact that we're so far behind that we just don't do enough damage. Now a lot of that damage is going to be negated, so you can't target Pantheon because he'll shield wall all of your damage. You can't target the Kennen because he'll just Zanya's. And then we've got the giant Seraph's shield there on the Taliyah. So it's like, who do you target? The Yunara? But
the 5-0-6 Yunara with 3 completed items. Yeah, this is a tough one for the Redhawks. And you kind of mentioned that Inferno does have that Seeker's Arm Guard for the stasis. Kennen ult does go through stasis. So Inferno can still use his ultimate, flash in, stasis immediately. Will take no damage while outputting a ton of damage for the Eagles as well.
Yeah, and it's just really, that's a really, really late tier there for our Sona as well. You know, that would normally go into the one of the new support items that I'm now blanking on the name of.
I don't even know that. I saw it for the first time yesterday while I was playing ARAM Mayhem.
Honestly, I kind of love that item because it just like passively heals everybody nearby you. But you really need to get it stacked up a little bit earlier than this, and you know, buying a tier 20 minutes into a game is pretty tough. As we've got,
we got a WGFY teleported to the top lane, maybe to find something on Inferno, but Taliyah Lance Romance matched it as well. So the Redhawks forced to back out of that. It is 4 members strong for the Redhawks here, as we do see Egoist in the top lane, but the Eagles are just going to set their sights onto Egoist. The Weaver's Wall going to go down onto Egoist, and we've seen this one before. Egoist just... he can't really do anything in this game. So much damage going on to Drywall Boxer. X finds the knockup onto one. True Shot Barrage coming in as well, but Shambo's up here on the bottom of the Zero's all the way in the backline. There is nothing that the Redhawks can do to get onto Zero. He's just going to shred the members of the Redhawks down. Silverzak trying to get a little bit of damage onto Inferno. Will find the shutdown as well, but the Eagles clean everything up. It is 3 for 5. It is 2 for 5, excuse me, for the Eagles.
Yeah, and actually, Miami was trying to follow my advice there. They were going for the Yunara. That's how they ended up in that really weird position up in the Barren River. However, Zero just played very, very patiently, used the speed up to get away from the Wukong-Orianna combination, and in the meantime, Eastern Michigan was able to collapse onto Egoist, kill him out, and then collapse on the rest of Miami and just hit him with their wallets.
Yeah, this Rift Herald getting a lot of value too. I mean, the Redhawks are already down 14k. This Rift Herald just going to pad the wallets of these Eagles, getting the top lane tier 3 and the mid lane at tier 2, as well as a charge off onto that mid lane tier 3. But man, I just want to look at this gold graph. It has been the Eagles this entire game. 14k up right now. Saw a little dip, maybe there a little bit of cope. Maybe, but it'll be tough for the Redhawks to come back from this one. The Eagles will have to make a chain of terrible events for the Redhawks to win this one.
Yeah, and I don't even think the problem here is the draft necessarily. I think that if Miami had been able to stay even, their scaling would have been better throughout this game. Unfortunately, in that early mid-game into the mid-game itself, that Nautilus Pantheon combination was just too scary, and Taliyah able to catch out the Sonu, who is roaming too far on her own, trying to get that vision onto the Baron pit, but unfortunately needed somebody to be with her. I mean, that's one of the things with these squishy enchanter characters, is that you really can't be out there in the jungle alone, especially in a game state like this, without expecting to get picked out in battle. Eastern Michigan has too much vision control. Oh my goodness, they're trying to get a consolation tower across the map, but Inferno teleported down and used his ultimate and was able to get a kill on the...
I think he might be able to get a second one. Inferno is so fed at this stage in the game. Does have the stasis to dodge some damage from the dissonance from WGFY. Maybe
got his dash.
If Inferno gets a Q off onto WGFY, but Lance Romance is just going to come and pick up the kill with the Unraveled Earth. This cannon is just such a threat on the map. 7, 1, and 6. And even Lance Romance, 11 and 2. The 0 on Inara, 7 and 0. Ego's trying to find something onto Drywall Box, who uses the ultimate, just does not have the damage. Only has one item complete alongside the boots. And Zero's just going to flash really aggressively, trying to find a kill on to Solozak. Solozak forced to dive under tower. We do see Lance Romance come in here as well. Zero does get the kill. James, this has been run one rough game, excuse me. Yeah. And the Eagles are going to take this one.
Yeah, it was looking pretty good in those first 5 minutes or so, but unfortunately, Miami's plan just sort of fell apart as they weren't able to remain disciplined in their own jungle. They weren't playing pairs. They're just getting caught out too often, too early by characters that are very strong at that point in the game. They weren't able to hit their item or damage breakpoints and just lost out early, lost the game.
Yeah, it's going to be 1-0 in the series for the Eagles, and just a really unfortunate game from the side of the Redhawks. Now, James, I have to ask you, we kind of mentioned draft maybe really wasn't the issue there. I did like the draft from the Redhawks, but it was just that early game. But I want to ask you, James, going into this next game, none of those champions are going to be able to play it again. We won't have that Pantheon. We won't see that Talia again. Mm-hmm. Now, where do you think the draft goes? And then what do the Redhawks have to do differently in that early game as well?
Yeah, so, I mean, I think it looks like Galio is still going to be a priority for both teams. I know that the Galio ban was a ban on our side. Mm-hmm. We were on the blue side. So I think Galio could figure very strongly into game 2. I think that, both teams are going to want easy go buttons. Eastern Michigan drafted a lot of very easy go buttons between the Nautilus and the Pantheon. And that just made that whole mid-early game very, very easy. So we have to figure out what go buttons are left. So we've got like J4, we've got Nocturne, we've got, I don't know. I just want to see more global presence here from Miami, make it a little bit easier for them to support each other. And then at the end of the day, I just want to see a little bit more discipline in the mid-laning phase of the game. Yeah. We keep falling behind on CS way too early, losing a lot of natural resources there on the map between turret plates, between CS. And I don't know how much of that is just we need our jungler to occasionally have a little bit more lane presence, or if it's just that the laners need to work on stuff.
Yeah, I do think there is an issue when it comes to vision as well. I mean, Drywall Boxer and even Shambo, that really early roam from the Nautilus finding a kill onto WGFY. I mean, the Redhawks just didn't have any knowledge of that whatsoever. They didn't have any vision in the river. They didn't have any vision to see Drywall Boxer on the topside river. So I think the Redhawks need to establish and track Drywall Boxer early. Have ways of catching out Shambo when Shambo's leaving lane. Yeah. And that kind of goes to your point about improving that mid-laning phase a little bit.
Yeah. I think I'd like to see an engaged character from Beans, if possible, going into this next one. It just favors the way that she likes to play the game, more so than a lot of these Enchanter characters. And I think that if she has a character that's a little bit safer to roam around the jungle and work on vision control herself, that would be great. But I think what would be even better is if she can really double up with the jungler and make sure that they're not getting into these 1v2, 1v3 situations and turning them into 2v2 or 3v3 situations. So I think that's going to be one of the biggest things that they could possibly improve going here into map 2. But I think that we may go into a quick break while we wait for our next set of drafts to show up. I've been James Reach 42 Davis.
And I've been Isaac Arredondo. Don't go anywhere. Game 2 is coming up right after this, and we'll see if the Redhawks can claw their way back for a victory in this rivalry matchup. Don't go anywhere. Hello, everyone, and we are back for Game 2 between the Eastern Michigan University Eagles and the Miami University Red Hawks. It is the battle of the swoops, and so far the Eagles are up 1-0. And man, we're just getting right back into draft here. It looks like it's going to be another blind pick after the web draft. So we'll see where picks come in, and then we'll start looking at things. But Eagles locking in that Olaf that we've seen once before.
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot of power come out of that Olaf. It's got really, really great early game damage. That level 1 with the axe resets can be very, very effective. And the fact that he gets bonus lifesteal as he gets low, just initially level 1, and then you just keep scaling that with as you get your W up and running, can be a really, really great pick. We've got the Jarvan the fourth, can lock down some opponents. Basically going to be looking for this rise, I think, mostly. Possibly the Nico as well, although ulting into an ulting Nico could be a death sentence for Jarvan as well.
Okay. Yes. We do have the draft up here. We do see that Rise was the first pick for the side of the Eagles, followed by Jarvan and Ari from the Red Hawks, then Corki and Nico from the Eagles, then Jinx. Bans were Leona Varys Renekton from the Eagles, Skarner, Nunu, and Bessa from the Red Hawks, and then phase 2 was Lulu and Tom Kench from the Eagles, and Rammus and Kale from the Redhawks. And then we chose Karma. They went Vi, Cassante, and Olaf was the last pick of the draft, getting Kin's Egoist that counter pick against that Cassante.
Yeah, and I think that Olaf could be very effective into the Cassante and the Vi combination. Basically, you're not going to be able to ult him while he's ulting on either of those characters. The thing I think I'm most worried about, just looking at our comp at a surface level, is that once J4 ults somebody, it's going to be very difficult for us to layer that Olaf damage on top of that ultimate.
Yeah,
because he's going to wall off the Olaf. He doesn't have a lot of mobility options aside from flashing, and you don't want to flash into a J4 ult. That's just bad play. And Eastern Michigan has good escapes there from Cassante, from Vi, from Corky. So I like the Ahri J4 idea into the Rise first pick, trying to punish a low mobility character, create in some stuns, some displacement that'll prevent Rise from executing an ult if he tries to escape with that. So I think that's all well and good, but I think the rest of Eastern Michigan's draft has been very well tailored against the Jarvan 4 idea. However, I see a lot of promise out of the rest of Miami. I think a Jinx scaling into the late game can be terrifying. Gonna have to see how it does in that ranged matchup against the Corki.
Yeah, I think, like you mentioned, that Jinx is going to scale very well as we go into this game. But Eastern Michigan has a lot of tools for lockdown. I mean, Nico, Vi, and Cassante. But here we are, onto the Rift for Game 2. WGFY getting active, gets an auto. WGFY wins the... Oh, Lance Romance getting a Q in return.
Was about to call it a good game right there. But unfortunately, they did trade damage. And actually, WGFY is kind of... Okay, I was about to say he might be stuck in the middle of nowhere, but the Nico support is going to go down and support that Corki there for level 1. We are looking at a top-to-bottom clear here for both junglers. Going to have to see if we get some early aggression here from these mid laners. I also would be interested to see if there's any volatility in that level 1 Olaf, as it appears that he is possibly going in on the Cassante. Cassante chunked down to half health there on our mini-map from what we can see so far, but I know that we're having a couple of issues with our overlay, so we don't have all of our spectators quite fully set quite yet. It also looks as if Miami's bot lane is pushing fairly aggressively there into Eastern Michigan's side, but no real trades and damage yet. Gonna have to see who can get level 2 first here, see if they can get an advantage off of that. But that Karma level 1 ultimate Q is probably one of the biggest power spikes that character's got.
Yeah, Karma, not really the strongest champion in the game. However, in the early laning phase with the Mantra Q, does output a lot of damage. The Redhawks were able to get level 2 in the bot lane before the Eagles, however, weren't in the position to really make anything happen with it. I mean, that's just, you don't have a hard engage button like a Nautilus or a Blitzcrank like that. So they're just going to get some damage down from Beans' Mantra Qs. We did see Egoist getting some nice damage onto Inferno in the top lane. Did not pop the Ghost, so didn't see the kill potential there. But you kind of mentioned, like, you mentioned action, early action in the mid lane. I'm looking more at this top lane in this game, because we've seen Egoist on this Olaf before, playing against a Mordekaiser. It just kind of ran the Mordekaiser down, but Egoist getting a nice shove into the tower, and now backing for an early Cole to get a little bit extra gold in this matchup. And James, you can't see him, but is pumping his fist in excitement.
Yeah, no, I love that early reset. Pushing those first 3 waves in, getting the cannon there under tower so that the wave will push back to you. There shouldn't be a way here for this Cassante to freeze the lane here onto Egoist, so he's going to be able to get back, get the Cull, work on developing more of those natural resources that you're going to get from the lane minions, from the turret plates. And now I want to see Kins let that shove towards him. If he's going to use his Q, just use it to last hit. Try not to get too much of the wave push down, because you want to try to set up a position where, oh my goodness, as we've got a possibility of an engage here onto Drywall Breaker, we've got the Flash Charm there onto the Vi, trying to block up the escape path. He botches the Q into the wall. X is going to try to go for the kill. Ahri's going to finish it instead. That is perfectly fine. Love to see an early fed Ahri, and that's great seeing the J4 Ahri roam get active early there on the map.
Yeah, first blood for WGFY. We did see a bunch of pings earlier while our camera was on the top lane. Drywall Boxer just going a little bit too deep into the red side jungle. X did spot Drywall Boxer out. WGFY with a great little rotate over to secure that kill. And Ahri with a nice little lead here. 260 gold is going to help out a lot. Things are pretty even in the top lane. But now WGFY does not have the flash or the teleport if Drywall Boxer wants to make a visit in that mid lane. But Egoist getting some nice damage on to Inferno. Inferno forced to run away. Drywall Boxer is up here. Egoist does have flash and Ghost still, but Drywall Boxer is just going to go over the wall and get back to farming.
Yeah, I think Drywall Boxer is thinking the better of that one because his lane partner there, Inferno, is so low on health. Oh, and we've got an invade here as J4 and Ari are going to try to catch out this Vi again. Gets the EQ combo over, just barely misses the charm, but getting a lot of big damage over. And WGFY getting another big kill here on this early Ari. Snowballing a lead, hopefully, in the way of Miami. And X is going to be taking a lot more of Eastern Michigan's jungle here as well.
Yeah, WGFY, 2 early kills. The pop potential on this Ari is going to be high with those 2 kills. Lance Romance forced to use the Ghost to get out of there. Beans trying to get the tether, does not get the root off of it. So Lance Romance does get out, getting chunked to about half. But on that, on the back end of the kill of Drywall Boxer, X was able to take the top side of that jungle of Drywall Boxer. So displacing him a little bit. WGFY getting real chippy with Lance Romance. Doesn't have the flash to get out of there. Lance Romance might be going down here. Oh, Beans flashing in. Does not get the heal, but trying to get the kill in return. Does get the tether on to Lance Romance. Has the Mantra Q. One more auto is going to do it, and Beans gets the kill in return. Excuse me.
That almost gave me a heart attack. Beans flashing in, trying to get the big shield there onto the Ari, who is low on health. No flash to get out, no ult to get out. Fortunately, is able to finish it. Manages to not cancel the third auto attack there attempt onto the Rise and gets a big kill, giving some resources there. But Solo Zach caught out alone. Gonna get dove here by the Nico, and Drywall Boxer is gonna walk away with the kill. Beans may also get caught out if she paths incorrectly, but it looks as if she's gonna take the long way home. Gonna try to get under the turret, soak up a little bit of that EXP, but Vi is still lurking. That is still 3 members of Eastern Michigan looking for a possible tower dive situation, while Egoist is looking to possibly get his jungler involved here against this Cassante. However, he does finish his back. The Karma remains safe so far. Ari is going to be rotating there. Got a little bit of vision there into Eastern Michigan's jungle, putting that jungle ward there into the big banana bush. Is that? And is able to get back into lane.
Yeah, Beans was just out of lane for so long, allowing Zero and Shambo to just push Solo Zach in, not able to clear everything, even with the rockets. Just trading a little bit here on the top lane, both of them level 7, but we did see Drywall Boxer able to take a lot of X's top side of jungle, or excuse me, the bot side jungle of the top part of the jungle. It's terminology, League's awesome. But we do see the Redhawks now taking this first Drake of the game, the Hextech Drake. Now I do want to point out, this Olaf is still 0-0-1, hasn't picked up a kill, which really isn't what you want to see from a level 7 Olaf. Usually you want to have 1 or 2 kills on that champion at this stage in the game. But WGFY, even with the 2 kills, is about even in gold with Lance Romance. But we do see Solo Zach alone here again. Beans backing. We do have some action here in the mid lane. WGFY getting really low, doesn't have the charm to get onto Drywall Boxer, but X is going to get punched by Drywall Boxer. Oh, champion very fitting for his name. And Beans is there not really making an impact, so the roam timer is a little odd here, and Solo Zach's going to get pushed in again. But Egoist and Inferno still just going toe-to-toe. We do see Drywall Boxer and Lance Romance roaming up. Lance Romance does have the Realm Warp to maybe catch Egoist off guard, but it yet to be seen. X is up here clearing away his Krugs, providing a little bit of support for Egoist right now, but Solo Zach under tower once again. Yeah,
I would really like to see Egoist play this as safely as possible. While you do have a lot of natural strength in your kit as Olaf, as you get lower and lower, Kins has not had the opportunity yet to get a good buy-in. He was able to get that call off of the cheater recall after the first shove, but unfortunately was not able to get a lot going after that. I mean, he's still clearing minions, he's doing his job, he's doing great collecting resources. However, going into the plated steel caps, going into the bramble vest there of the Cassante, he's going to need a little bit more than a Doran's Blade and a Cole in order to actually trade effectively in that lane, and now he is finally hitting those early spikes of getting some item components. Similarly, you know, the Ari was able to get a couple of really big kills in the very, very early game. May not have been able to actually snowball that into buying those items yet in order to keep growing that lead. Now, X is doing a great job of stealing those chickens away from the buy there, doing a great job of moving around the map, but might get kicked out, caught out by Shambo.
Yeah, Shambo able to see X as he goes back to the top side of the jungle, but I feel like the jungle mid lane combination has been the real talking point of this game. We've seen Lance Romance and Drywall Boxer moving a lot together. Same with WGFY and X. I mean, those 2 kills that Ari has were from ventures from X as well. So jungle's making their presence known in this game. Solozak and Beans have been pretty quiet here in the bot lane. At least Solozak has Zero and Shambo as well. This isn't the active bot lane that we saw in the last game. I mean, that's just what you're going to see when you have a Nico and a Karma. But as I say that, Shambo getting a nice route onto Beans. Beans getting the tether in return, but X is here as well as Drywall Boxer. There are 3 members. There goes the pop loss and doesn't find anybody. Solozak is able to free fire. Shambo caught inside the Cataclysm. The rocket is going to find one, but meanwhile the Seize and Desist on to Solozak. Solozak able to run away as WGFY is here as well. Drywall Boxer and Zero forced to back out. WGFY trying to find a charm, does find it onto 0-0. Doesn't go down just yet, but on the top side, in the picture, we do see Inferno and Egos going at it, and Inferno gets the better of that trade. Meanwhile, we still see Zero taking some damage, goes down from the Airy proc by Beans. It is a 2-for-1.
Yeah, finally, here's some of the luck breaking Miami's way. They're hitting those damage break points, able to finish off some of those plays. Unfortunately, we're still down 600 gold at this point in the game, despite being up 2 kills. So it seems as if maybe we were losing out on a couple of natural resources. I see that Ari is down 20 CS to the Rise. Our Jinx is down 25. It's just these lane states have been so favorable for Eastern Michigan to get some of this free farm, where Miami has been struggling to pick up every creep it can.
Yeah, while that happened as well, Lance Romance went and did get one of the grubs of those 3. We do see Nico here in the mid lane disguised as a minion, but WGFY going to dodge the Thorn. It's something Thorn. I believe flashes for the charm, doesn't miss it. WGFY getting really aggressive, still doesn't have a completed item. Beans getting a nice Mantra Q onto Lance, chunking him down to about 1/3 HP, and it looks like those last 2 grubs are going to be the sites for the Redhawks. They have 3 members, and Egos can also roam down to help as well. So effectively 4, as Solozak is still just in the bot lane doing what AD carries do best and killing some minions.
Yeah, and he's right to do it. So I think that at this point, Olaf is probably going to need a jungler or a support to show up in order to make a fight against Cassante go his way, at least until maybe he picks up a Black Cleaver or something, because this Cassante is incredibly tanky and incredibly counter-built against this Olaf.
Yeah, WGFY roaming down here once again. Beans maybe doesn't see Drywall Boxer, but Lance Romance using the Ghost and is in the top side of the river. I don't think Lance Romance and WGFY see each other, but Solozak and Beans do know that Shambo and Drywall Boxer are here, and I don't know if Beans and Solozak want to dive in, as Zero is in the lane as well. So I think things are just going to chill out a little bit here. Tensions are getting a little bit higher as we do see X come down, as well as Lance Romance. The dive is the play here, I think. Beans finding a nice Mantra Q onto Shambo. Shambo forced to flash over the wall with the super mega death rocket, just missing. And oh my gosh, X just blows up that Nico. Drywall Boxer forced to run away. X did have to use the Cataclysm for that kill, so a crucial ultimate for the Redhawks down. But the Dragon is up and the Redhawks want it. Drywall Boxer is still up, might still have the smite. Just checking, does have the smite. So if Drywall Boxer wants to jump in there, does get hit by one of those chompers. They gotta pull this out. They're letting Drywall Boxer come in. It's a nice little bait, but Drywall Boxer steals away the Ocean Drake. They waited just a little bit too long. Meanwhile, on the top side of the picture-in-picture, not WGFY, but rather Lance Romance roamed up on just pushing Egoist out of the lane.
So yeah, Eastern Michigan going to be able to pick up the objective on both sides of the map. Going to get the Dragon and the top lane. Sure, their Vi is going to go down in the process, but when you've got that sort of control over the Dragon Pit and the bot and mid rotates, I mean, they knew Rise was up top, right? They needed to drag that Dragon out of the pit. They needed to get it out of the way, because Vi's got so many ways to get in. Between the Q, between the ult. I mean, she didn't have flash up, thankfully, but that was just irresponsible gameplay there from Miami. They needed to be more responsible about how they were going to take that objective. And it looks as if Kins isn't actually going to be going for a Black Cleaver first. It looks as if maybe we're going to be going for a Stride Breaker early, which is going to be very good if he's going to be able to get onto a target like the Rise. like the Nico, but it's going to be tough. And also, I think that Shambo made a bit of a misplay there. They were able to execute a lot of tower dives in game 1 because Solo Zach was under the turret by himself a lot. But I think it's if you disguise yourself as a minion with Nico, there's a way to negate tower damage somehow. That's all really, really weird. But he was just using base version clones of himself to try to draw tower aggro, and they weren't really able to get any damage off of that. And then Miami's counter engage was just so good, and X is so strong right now that he was able to basically just one-tap that Nico.
If I'm not mistaken, they might have taken out that ability from the Nico minis, as WGFY does find a charm onto Drywall Boxer. Drywall Boxer caught out. Beans not able to get the tether onto Drywall Boxer, is just going to go back to those rafters, but WGFY wants more. Will aggressively ult in onto Lance Romance. Doesn't get the root, but X is here. Doesn't have the, actually does have the Cataclysm, but didn't want to fire it underneath that tower. But Solozak gets a kill onto Shambo. It was a botched dive. Meanwhile, Zero is out of position here. Will probably dive back in here as the minion comes up, but Solozak is trying to run away. Does get hit by one of those rockets, but X is here, does have the flag and the drag, and there it is. Zero getting slowed by the shield from X, and WGFY going to pick up another kill.
Great execution there on the counter dive. Solozak once again surviving a big dive play there and picking up stuff off of it. Able to get the Nico kill, almost able to get the Corki as well, but unfortunately not able to dodge the rocket. And his W didn't slow the Corki down quite long enough for the TP to come through. But good counterplay there from Miami. Unfortunately, the thing is, like, we're up 5 kills, still down roughly 1,000 gold. I think as they pick up turret plates around the map, that lead is going to evaporate a little bit, but they still need to put themselves in a position where they can pick up those turret plates, and that's just not happening quite yet. As we've got a big engage here from the Cassante onto Olaf top here. He uses the Stride Breaker there, trying to slow the Cassante down, but his health bar is not going down at all throughout that entire engage. Just the combination of the plated steel caps, the Thornmail starter thing, Bramble Vest, and the Iceborne Gauntlet. Olaf is locked down the whole time, even with the ultimate committed.
That champion is not okay. We did see before that, while the counter dive was happening in the bot lane, Egoist did get chunked out pretty heavily by Inferno. Had to use the flash and the ghost previously to that fight that you just saw. So Egoist was playing off the back foot a little bit. I think once Egoist saw the top lane, or the TP, excuse me, it might have been best just to dip on out of there. But Egoist getting solo killed again by Inferno. Drake up in about a minute. Redhawks trying to establish a little bit of vision here. But Drywall Boxer is just going to continue farming as Zero and Shambo are taking control of this mid lane as Lance Romance goes to the bot lane.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see how this bot engage happens alongside this this possible mid. Yeah, this mid engage. 3 members of Eastern Michigan go in. They've got the Nico ult to secure the kill there onto the Jinx. Meanwhile, the bot engage on the rise just kind of fizzles out as they decide that they really need to try to make something up here. X getting sped up into the Nico, but just getting sped up so he can get rooted. The EQ doesn't quite land on anything, gets the ultimate onto the Nico, who commits flash into the Olaf, who uses his, he does spot the real one, starts to go for the kill there, might be able to get it. And yeah, Eastern Michigan just going to sacrifice their humble Nico. Although Drywall Boxer and the Cassante are going to go onto the Olaf, who is ulted, going to use the Ahri ult as well, but oh my gosh, that Ahri is squishy, and the Cassante carries him into Narnia, but then we blast flower back into the pit. That was crazy.
I don't know if I've ever seen that interaction of the All-Out and the Ahri before. That Ahri disappeared, and the Cassante was just... I was so confused. And then WGFY able to use the 2 dashes from the ultimate and the blast cone to get out. So great escape from WGFY. Going back to that mid lane dive that you saw onto Solozak, Drywall Boxer playing that really patient, hiding behind the Raptor wall. And also just, you know, really great. They're not picking up the Rift Herald. They didn't pick up the Rift Herald. Oh, this is a bronze mistake not picking up the Rift Herald. But going back to the point that I was making, oh gosh, that's just so much wasted time and wasted gold. Drywall Boxer waiting for the moment that the tower fell. Oh my gosh, grammar. Business major, not an English major. To go over the wall to get onto Solozak, negating any damage coming out from the tower that could hinder their tower dive, and then stacking the ultimates with Shambo and Drywall Boxer. But James missing the Herald.
The only way that could have been worse is if we had a Bel'Veth. If we had a Bel'Veth and they refused to ult on it. Like, that was just a rookie mistake. As we've got a big ultimate there onto the Jinx with the Nico ult committed alongside it. J4 ulting on top of something, but unfortunately we're just too far behind at this point, and Eastern Michigan is able to effectively layer their damage onto Miami's front and back line at the same time, and Miami just goes down. Even though we've been up in kills this whole game, we have not been able to get these turrets down. We're going to lose top lane here possibly as well, as Egoist just doesn't have the armor penetration to deal with this mega armor stacking Cassante, and we're going to lose another objective bot side as well. So no Rift Herald, no Dragon, no towers, but you know, we've got a couple of early kills.
Yeah, a couple of early kills, unfortunately not translating into anything. I mean, WGFY was 2-0 at one point, not really able to carry that lead and to make something of it. But Inferno, just this armor stacking champion, does have the Thornmail, does have the Iceborne Gauntlet. Egoist is doing absolutely no damage to that Cassante. That champion is not okay. I mean, tanks in general aren't okay, but a tank assassin is my worst nightmare. But that Herald, James, it's just like, how do you take the Rift Herald and then not pick it up? Like, you have 3 members there that helped with taking down the Rift Herald, and none of them picked up the Rift Herald Eye.
Yeah, it needed to have been a miscommunication. I mean, I think most of the time you just give it to the jungler because he can be active around the map. He can figure out a good timing to use it in order to try to pick up a cross-map objective, possibly. Which is another reason why maybe giving it to top laner is a good candidate, because you want him to be split pushing. However, they decided to give it to no one, and now it's just a wasted opportunity to get turrets. And now, I mean, did Miami take the tier? Miami has not taken any of the turrets.
No, Miami has.
They're allergic to
No, yes, they are allergic to tower taking. They're only going for kills. Hey, we have more kills than the Eagles, and that's what matters in League. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
But, I mean, they did give the Rift Herald to something. They gave it back to the Rift.
That's
the Rift
true.
Herald belongs.
Return it to nature.
Yes. So beautiful from the Red Hawks, my eco-friendly friends. But we do see Lancerman's Shambo and Drywall Boxer up here. Egoist all alone as Beans and X are making their way up here. But Solazak been kind of quiet on this Jinx. Picked up 1 kill earlier with the Super Mega Death Rocket and does have the Yuntal arrows completed as well. But Zero with the Infinity Edge, with the Essence Reaver, with the Collector. I think that's what, 75% crit? I'm not sure if Essence Reaver gives crit these days. So that's 75% crit onto Zero with only what, 25% maybe on Solazak if the Yuntal arrows are completely stacked up. So not where you want to be as a Jinx 20 minutes into this game. Ideally you have Essence Reaver, which is what he's building towards right now. But we do see a little bit of a swap coming in as Inferno goes to the bot lane, push it in. Egoist, I mean, it's like when you're at a restaurant and like a kid across the restaurant has like the spit wads and is spitting them at like a grown man. That's what it feels like right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really tough lobby to be Jinx in, because between Vi and Nico, there's just a solid like 6 seconds where you don't get to play the game.
Oh, absolutely.
And in that time, Corki and Rise just get to try to layer as much damage onto you as possible. And even if you've got your front line standing in front of you, if that Rise can get those EQ bounces onto you, like, that's just a ton of free damage you're taking for absolutely no reason. So I don't know. I like Jinx in general, but there are so many ways for Eastern Michigan to get on top of her and make sure that she doesn't get to play the game that it's tough. As we do see the Vi ult committed onto the Ahri, and Ahri dies very, very quickly. Beans trying to be nearby to stop it from getting any worse, but unfortunately I just don't think that the shields are quite powerful enough at this point to deal with the amount of burst that the Eastern Michigan comp has. As X does go in with a flag and drag, gets queued under the turret, ults onto the Vi, trying to get some damage there for the Jinx, and they're going to try to chase this Rise down, but that Corki is gigantic. The Nico flashes across the wall to secure the ult onto the Ahri, and now they're going to they're going to ult behind the turret, trying to single this J4 out, and, you know, maybe the flag and drag is enough into the speed up, but we've got a Hex Bolt, or the Rocket Belt.
Proto Belt.
Maybe
it's Rocket Belt these days. I'm not too sure. But X able to get out of there. I mean, oh my gosh, wait, Ego's taking Inferno down really low. Doesn't have the damage. The tower not heated up just enough. But Jinx, WGFY getting absolutely popped again. Silazak on the Jinx passive, get excited. Did get excited after that one kill, and I think Silazak may have gotten a little bit in over his head, kind of positioned a little bit too forward with the Ghost, and then Zero was just able to come over the wall, and that's the 75% crit that I was just harping to. I think it was 3 autos, and Jinx was deleted off of the map.
And that E does a lot of damage.
Oh my gosh,
it's
too,
like
yeah.
1,000 damage over time, like over the span of 2 seconds, and then you layer your
shredding
true damage,
armor too.
Yeah, you layer your true damage auto attacks on top of that with the crit. It's a nasty time, and it's just, I would have really loved. I mean, I would have loved to have seen the Black Cleaver either first or second there from the Olaf in this matchup to try to give him a little bit of that armor shred to deal with how tanky this Cassante is. He has gone with the Death's Defiance, which could be good into some more mixed team fights against the Rise and stuff. But I don't know if Olaf is ever actually going to be able to play front-back team fights with the rest of this team. I think he's going to be stuck in side lane duty for the rest of this match, if they can even give him time enough to actually push any of these waves.
Yeah, the Redhawks going to trade Baron for Dragon, and I think WGFY got a Wendy's sponsorship as we were in here, because he is 4-4-4. We do see Zero, Inferno, and Lancermance using that Baron buff, trying to push in and maybe take this top lane tower, but Egoist, X, and Beans, and Solozak, oh my gosh, they're just sending the entire cavalry here as they are going to try to save this tower. Egoist getting rooted up by Shambo. It is 5v4. WGFY is here. Beans chunked to about half, but that Baron-empowered siege minion, that cannon, is just doing so much damage onto this tower. Thank God Banner of Command is no longer an item. That thing ruined the game for me. But WGFY trying to find an angle to maybe ult over the wall. Doesn't find the charm just yet, but Egoist laying down some undertows. That's what we call the axes here, if you're a League of Legends caster. X getting hit by the Q3 by Inferno, getting knocked back into him, being still around half health. Silazak using the zap, trying to get a little bit of damage down, but they just don't have a go button right now. I mean, it's all about WGFY's charm, but Shambo finds a nice root onto 2 members of the Redhawks, and they are just going to shred them from there. We do see Egos using the Ragnarok to try to get in onto the backline. Silazak still alive as well. Zero taking really low, but Silazak is alive, misses the stasis, gets it. Shambo is still alive, doesn't have enough backup, but they're just going to realm war on top of him. Solozak getting a little bit over his head there, as Inferno is just going to dive him under tower. More kills for the Eagles, and James, I think that might be the game.
Yeah, I think this one's just about over. Eastern Michigan may want to take this inhibitor and then reset, because Miami does have a couple of low spawn timers here. However, I mean, they've got these Baron minions. I think once that next wave comes in, if they can kill the Karma here, this one is over right now.
I mean, Corky's coming up as well up the mid lane.
True.
So it's only X and Beans up for right now. Still 10 seconds on the next member of the Redhawks. I think you might be right in saying that they might just take this inhibitor and back off, but they do have the damage if they want to pursue further.
Yeah, and I mean, they have some big waves coming in, but, you know, you may as well not throw the game for no reason if you don't have to. They have a dominant lead at this point. They can go back, they can reset, they can buy their items up. Corky now has 100% crit rate and some lifesteal, so he's got a little bit of sustain in these fights as well, which is going to help out his ability to survive against this Ahri Olaf dive, which almost did work in that last fight. They really went past the entire front line to try to single that Corky out. Unfortunately, we're not able to get the kill on him, as X is looking to posture here onto that Corky again, onto that Nico. Goes in, Inferno is soloing out the Karma, as that's a big Nico ult onto the Ahri. Olaf trying to kill that Corky, does succeed. X goes in as well. Now Olaf is continuing his ult, getting a lot of autos in, but he doesn't have much more mobility past that, and Vi's just able to do a short Q away. Short hop and skip and jump, and Eastern Michigan's going to take the rest of your base.
Yeah, Solozak, Beans, and Egoist and X are the only remaining members up, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to get through this wall of a champion that is Cassante. Drywall Boxer is about half health, and Egoist is just going to run down with the help of the Flag and Drag from X. Doesn't get the knockup, but does get the slow from the AoE shield, but Inferno is just so tanky. Shambo is putting in a little bit of damage. Lancerman's still up as well, but I think that is going to be all she wrote. The Eagles are going to take this series 2-0 and take the Battle of the Swoop.
Really tragic. One Zach remains supreme, as Miami eventually is going to go down here. They are toying with their food a little bit, trying to bump those damage numbers. That's a pretty big charm there from the Ari. Does have a lot of damage there on that character. Gets the W, the fairy fires onto the rise as well. Almost him down. Does take him down with a big shutdown as the Nexus falls.
2-0 is the series going over to the Eagles. GG's to Eastern Michigan University, but a little bit of an unfortunate night from the Red Hawks. James, what are your thoughts on that game 2 and the night as a whole?
They just need to attack some towers.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
They gotta hop onto Clash Royale or something, get into the tower destroying mindset, get some Hog Riders, pick up the Rift Herald, just hit right click the tower, get some plates. That's free money. It's free real estate. And it's just money that we're letting slip through even when we've got advantages on other sides of the map.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's just sort of the big takeaway that I've got from this one. I mean, I feel like their target selection was actually much improved this time around compared to some of the previous 2 matches that we've seen. Eastern Michigan played it very, very well. They had really good CS leads throughout pretty much in all 3 lanes.
Mm-hmm.
I think our aggressive jungling was very effective. But once again, they just need to hit a turret, and they need to make sure that they don't leave objectives on the map and drag the dragon out of the pit. Drag it out.
They had some really, in that game too, some really messy objective takes. I mean, Vi can jump over the wall. Vi is still alive and has smite. So why are we fighting dragon in the back of the pit? Like, why are we...
Yeah,
pull it out.
Yeah.
Or and then pick up the Rift Herald Eye as well. Like,
yeah, and it's like, I think they did have a ward over the wall. They could see the Vi, I thought, unless it was red warded, because you can utilize that to try to bait the Vi and just send everybody over the wall to go get her. But they didn't do that. They opted to just let her queue in, get the smite steal, and then they killed her. But that's 300 gold versus a permanent dragon buff. I mean, there wasn't a soul in this game, so we'll give them that. But it just, you got to be more disciplined.
Yeah, I'll have to look back on it. I'm not sure if they had a ward over the wall. I think they might have, because they were kind of like teasing the dragon's health. I mean, they were playing with it, and they waited until it was about like 1,300. Smites were probably around 1,000 at that time, maybe the 600 level. But just drag it out. It's a Vi. Yeah, I don't have anything extra to add to what you said other than take the objectives, take the towers, take the just I have no words.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've been watching too much Aloys lately, because the words natural resources just keep coming up. It's like, these things are on the map for you to take. The creeps, the jungle minions, the tower plates, the towers. You need to be able to get those as effectively and as efficiently as you can. And it just seemed as if we had too many inefficiencies compared to Eastern Michigan in this matchup. And even if we had an early kill lead, we weren't able to snowball that into a lead in objectives or natural resources. And that's just how you lose the series.
Yep. But GG's to Eastern Michigan. However, this isn't the end of the regular season. Just wait. No, we still have one more week left. With next week, the Miami University Redhawks are taking on Monday the OU Bobcats. That's Ohio University. That is an actual rivalry matchup. Historically, that is the Battle of the Bricks. So you do not want to miss that one. That'll be 8 p.m. Eastern on Monday. And then on Wednesday, the Redhawks will take on Kent State. Kent State being another pretty strong team in this conference that we've seen so far. I believe that it's not Ali Plain is their 80. Strikehoon is their 80 carry. Strikehoon, a very good player as well. So that is something that you don't want to miss. That is Wednesday at 8 p.m. But for the time being, I've been Isaac Rhythm Arredondo.
And I'm James Reach 42 Davis.
And we hope that you have a great night. And thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week.